One of the biggest rap icons gets killed in the East-West Coast gang war, and another gets caught lacking on his birthday party by his ops. These are rappers who got killed by goons. In September 1996, Tupac Machiavelli Shakur got smoked, leaving behind a trail of questions. But to figure out why he went out like that, we gotta roll it back to the beginning. It all popped off back in '94 with Pac catching 5 bullets at the Quad Studios in New York. Well, that left him shook, but what really messed with his head was thinking his boy Biggie and Puff had set him up, and that's when the whole East-West Coast beef started cooking. Biggie dropped Who Shot Ya on February 21st, 1995, not long after the shooting at Quad Studios. No, the lyrical thing's taking place. With B.I.G. it ain't safe. I make your skin chafe. Rashes on them ass. Bumps and bruises, blunts and Land Cruisers. Big Papa smash fools, bash fools. Mad cause I know that cash rules. Everything around me, 2 Glock 9s. Any whispering about mines. And I'm Crooklyn's finest. You rewind this. Bad boys behind this. Pac took it as a straight up taunt, even though Biggie claimed it wasn't about him. After Pac healed up, the beef went on to an all-time high. Pac inked a deal with Death Row, Suge Knight's company, and then Pac dropped arguably the best diss track in the game, Hit 'Em Up, in '96. The track wasn't dissing just Biggie, it was dissing all of Bad Boy Records. First off, you and the clique you claim. West Side when we ride, come equipped with game. You claim to be a player, but I your wife. We bust on Bad Boy for life. Plus Puffy trying to see me weak hearts I rip. Biggie Smalls and Junior Mafia some mark business. We keep on coming while we running for your jewels. Steady gunning, keep on busting at them fools. You know the rules. Those lyrics were pretty clear, and everything got dangerous from that point on. Fast forward to September 7th, '96. Pac's in Vegas for a Tyson fight, along with his Death Row crew. Even though they went to see a fight, Pac ended up fighting himself with a Crip named Orlando Anderson, and the whole thing got caught on camera. Now here's where it gets twisted. Later that night, Pac's driving in his black Beamer, with Suge Knight behind the wheel. They casually stop at a red light when suddenly a white caddy pulls up. Before anyone knows it, caddy opens fire on the Beamer. And unfortunately, 4 bullets hit Pac, 2 in the chest, 1 in the arm, and the other in the thigh. Following the investigation, 13 shots had been fired in total. Suge Knight was merely grazed by a bullet. Tupac fought for 6 days, and on September 13th, '96, he passed away. The game lost one of the realest at just 25 years young, and that case was about to get a whole lot crazier. No one came forward as a witness. Yaki Gaddafi, one of Pac's homies, who was riding behind him when it happened, got killed in November '96, just a couple of months after Pac. The police didn't have any leads to follow either. Now a lot of fingers point at Diddy saying he offered a cool mill to anyone who would take out Pac and Suge back in '96. But are these just rumors? Once you ask Keef Deef, he's the guy who was just booked for Pac's murder. He's saying Diddy was the mastermind. And it ain't just the cops talking. Some of the biggest names in the game, we're talking Eminem and 50 Cent, have been dropping hints in their bars for years about Diddy's possible involvement. Eminem in his MGK diss track Kill Shot said, "But Kells, the day you put out a hit's the day Diddy admits that he put the hit out that got Pac killed, huh?" And 50's been trying to expose Diddy since 2006. In his diss track The Bomb, 50 says, "Who shot Biggie Smalls? We don't get him. They gonna kill us all. Man, Puffy knows who hit that Man, that soft." Suspects were identified, but nothing stuck due to lack of evidence. Then in 2023, the game changed. Keef D got snatched up and hit up with a murder charge. D claimed that Orlando Anderson was the one who smoked Pac. But Pac couldn't get that justice because Anderson was shot in a drug deal gone wrong back in '98. Though maybe that was the justice, dying the same way he took someone out. Now, as for Biggie, that's a whole nother tragedy that went down just a half a year after Pac got hit. Biggie Smalls bursted onto the scene in the early '90s, dropping rhymes, painting the most vivid pictures of street life. But Biggie wasn't just about bars, he was the face of Bad Boy Records, Puff Daddy's East Coast empire. And when you talk about Bad Boy, you gotta mention their beef with Death Row Records out in the West. This wasn't just labeled drama, it was a full-on coastal war, with Bad Boy repping the East and Death Row holding it down for the West. The beef between Biggie and Tupac was already legendary, but when Pac got clipped in Vegas on September 7, '96, the whole game changed. Suddenly, the East-West Coast thing wasn't just about music, it was about life and death. Despite their rivalry, Biggie respected Pac and couldn't believe he was really dead.
He gonna pull through this one again, make a few records about it, and it's gonna be over, you know what I'm saying? But when he died, I was just like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? It kind of took me by.
On March 9, '97, 6 months after Pac's passing, Biggie heads out to LA feeling himself after dropping his second album, Life After Death. Ironic title, considering what was about to go down. Biggie was leaving a party at the Peterson Automotive Museum. And as Biggie's ride was waiting at a red light, a dark Chevy Impala pulls up and shots ring out. Big caught 4 shots and one hits him straight in the chest. The aftermath was chaos. Biggie was rushed to the Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, but it was too late. At 1:15 a.m., the doctors called it. The notorious B.I.G., just 24 years young, had checked out. Just like with Pac's murder, the streets went silent. Witnesses suddenly got amnesia, and leads were disappearing. The LAPD was on the case, but they couldn't crack anything. Some folks were pointing fingers at corrupt cops, others at gangbangers, and some even at big shots in the music industry. Theories started popping up. Some said it was payback for Pac's death. Others thought it might have been Suge Knight getting payback for Pac. And then you have my favorites, the people who think he's still alive, kicking it on an island with Tupac and Elvis.
Hip-hop is popping. Lovely. You're one of the major players in this thing. What are you coming with now?
Well, I got the Life After Death, double CD dropping March 25th.
Years have passed and Biggie's case is still cold as ice. The streets are still silent. His mama, Miss Wallace, and his fans are still waiting for answers, wondering if justice will ever be served. But the game don't stop, and neither do the tragedies. Years later, another legend would fall on the streets he loved in front of his own shop. Nipsey Hussle was holding it down in Crenshaw, repping that South LA life to the fullest. The dude wasn't just slinging rhymes, he was out here changing lives. Nip set up shop with that Marathon clothing store back in '17, giving the hood some real economic juice. But this was just the jump-off. Homie went and flipped the script with Vector 90, a spot where young bucks could get that STEM education for the kids who never thought they had a shot. Nip was investing in them schools too, dropping stacks to fix them up and rolling through the school to see youngins personally. Now, Nip came up running with them rollin' 60s Crips, but he evolved past that gang life. He was using his voice and his hustle to show the youth there's more to life than the streets. He was about to link up with the LAPD and Jay-Z's Rock Nation to curb the gang violence in South LA. But here's where it all went south. On March 31st, 2019, Nips posted up outside his Marathon store, vibing with his people, and that's when Eric Holder, this dude from the same hood, rolls through. Holder came to confront Nip on the rumor that he had been running his mouth to the boys in blue, and in the game, that's a death sentence waiting to happen. So Holder tried to give him some advice. He told Nipsey to get some paperwork to prove he wasn't a snitch, but allegedly Nipsey argued back. Holder didn't like what Nipsey had to say and left quickly. A smart person would have just let it go, but not Holder. He comes back with 2 blanks, and before anyone could do anything, he shoots. Hits Nipsey multiple times, and 2 other guys get shot also in the chaos. After the smoke cleared, Holder dipped out while Nips gets rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Two days later, Holder turned himself in talking about how he wasn't right in the head when it went down, but the streets ain't buying that crap and the trial was just a formality. Everyone knew Holder did the deed. When the judge dropped the hammer, Holder caught 60 to life.
We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Eric Ronald Holder Jr., guilty of the crime of first-degree murder.
But that sentence doesn't bring Nip back. It don't heal the hood or finish the work Nipsey started. From the block to the boardroom, Nip showed you that you could keep it real and still elevate. He was out here trying to make a real difference, showing love to where he came from and lifting up his people. And now speaking of young kings getting taken out before their time, this next rapper just started to make his mark in the game, before he as well was taken out too soon. XXXtentacion had a rough come-up, bouncing between his moms and grandma, dealing with that struggle life, but he flipped that pain into some fire tracks, dropping heat on SoundCloud back in 2013. Now X was on some next level-ish with his sound, mixing rap with all kinds of genres, talking about depression and all them dark thoughts that most of us keep in our closets. His track Look at Me blew up in 2016, and suddenly X was the name on everyone's lips. Fast forward to 2017, X drops his first album, 17, and that joint hits number 2 on the Billboard. Then in 2018, his second album, Question Mark, went straight to the top. X was blowing up like a supernova. And who would have thought that his time was actually running out? On June 18, 2018, X rolls up to a motorcycle dealership in Deerfield Beach. This 20-year-old kid, just think about it. As he's leaving in his Beamer, a dark SUV pulls up and blocks X's whip. 2 masked goons hop out, strapped and ready for action. And just like that, one of the most promising young artists in the game is gone. The streets started talking immediately. Who did it? Why? Was it beef? Nah, turns out it was just about that paper. These fools saw X flexing with his Louis V bag full of 50 racks and decided to make a move. It was a straight-up robbery gone wrong. The cops weren't playing on this one though. They rounded up 4 suspects pretty quick. Dedrick Williams, Michael Boatwright, Trevon Newsom, and Robert Allen all got booked on first-degree murder and armed robbery charges. They thought they were going to come up, but now they're facing life behind bars. And there's some wild talk going around about Drake being involved. You see, X and Drake had some beef back in the day. X was accusing Drake of jacking his flows, calling him out on social media and all that.
So he plays this shit. I hear da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, what the fuck? As soon as it started, like I knew he was getting that. And the funny thing is, we didn't discover it.
There was even this crazy gram post where X said that if he got murked, it was Drake's doing. But that turned out to be some hacker, and there ain't no real evidence linking Drake to what went down. When X got taken out, it sent shockwaves throughout the community. Even dudes who weren't feeling his music had to recognize the impact he had. X was speaking to a whole generation of kids dealing with mental health problems and feeling lost. He was showing them that it was okay to be vulnerable, to talk about the dark stuff. And like X, this next rapper was on his way to becoming the next big thing. And like X, he was taken out too soon. Pop Smoke, born Bashar Baraka Jackson, was this young blood from the BK, straight out of Canarsie. Homie was blowing up faster than a lit firecracker, with tracks like Welcome to the Party and Dior having the streets on lock. Pop was only 20, but was moving like a seasoned vet, dropping 2 mixtapes, Meet the Woo and Meet the Woo 2, that had everybody and they mama bumping it. The second tape even hit number 7 on the Billboard, proving Pop wasn't just some SoundCloud rapper. He was the real deal. And he wasn't just spitting on the mic, he was a real G. When Lil Pop was just a youngin', maybe 12 or 13, this video hit the streets, showing him getting straight punked by some older heads.
Yo, Chappelle! Yo, it's crazy.
But fast forward 7 years later and Pop flips the script, catching one of them same dudes slipping at a 7-Eleven and got his payback. Pop walks up confidently, knocks out this guy cold. This revenge moment video goes viral online, turning Pop from a joke to a problem real quick, showing the streets that he ain't the one to play with, period.
Yo, boy! Yo, this how you fucking some power, nigga. Some fucking crack, nigga.
Now here's where things get real. February 19th, 2020. Pop's out in LA, living large in some rental spot up in the Hollywood Hills. Around 4:30 in the morning, 4 masked goons roll up to the crib and start letting off shots. Pop catches multiple slugs and his friends immediately call 911.
You anymore. I can't talk to you anymore. Just
Okay.
come here.
Do you know what to do?
No.
Okay, then listen to me. I'm going to tell you how to help this person.
I'm listening.
Okay, now listen. The person.
Just got here.
Okay.
As we know, sadly, Pop didn't make it. Now, you might be wondering how these fools knew where Pop was at. Well, that's where social media comes into play. You see, Pop, or one of his boys, had posted some pics online, and the address on the rental spot was visible on some gift bags.
Wait. Mike and Mary. Billy Jean. Good looks, Mike and Mary. Gifts.
It's what we call a major fumble. The streets started buzzing with all kinds of theories. Some folks even try to put it on Pop's homie, Mike D, saying that he set Pop up. But who knows? Turns out these were just some young, dumb criminals looking to come up quick. They thought Pop was flexing with some ice, but ended up only jacking a watch that they flipped for a measly 2 stacks. Imagine taking a life for 2 G's. I mean, that's cold-blooded. The boys in blue weren't playing though. By July, they had rounded up 5 suspects, 2 grown men, Corey Walker and Keandre Rogers, plus 3 juveniles, and the trigger man was only 15 years old. Pop's death hit the culture like a sledgehammer. Here was a young kid about to sit on his throne, cut down before he could really shine. Which brings us to this next rapper who checked out because of his own karma, finally catching up. Von was a young blood straight out of Chicago, reppin' O-Block harder than anybody. His track Crazy Story hit hard, and cats knew every word was authentic as hell. Tracks like War With Us, where he was dissing ops by name, that was a no-cap rap. 7 murders in 1 week. It's crucial and it's wicked. Body after body, ain't no help up in my city. Homicide, you gonna die if you stuntin' like you with it. Got him slipping, blowed his brains out. Nobody said who did it. Now word around town, say that I'ma get it. Some niggas told Kordasha they gonna put one in my fitted. All I know is murder, swear to God that I'm with it. And everything I talk up in my songs, you know I live it. Yeah, Von was living everything he spit, and that's what made him blow up so quick. But you see, when you live that life for real, it sometimes comes back to bite you. And for Von, that bite turned deadly on November 6th, 2020. Him and his crew roll up to this spot in A-Town called Monaco Hookah Lounge, probably thinking they was gonna turn up and have a good night. And it turns out Quando Rondo and his squad was at that same spot. Now, Quando's crew reppin' them rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips was a whole different set from Von's Black Disciples. Now, these two sides had mad beef, and it was something that ran deep. When the two crews crossed paths, things popped off quick, and in the streets it goes from 0 to 100 real quick. Guns start popping off, some dude named Timothy Leaks, aka Lil Tim, catches Von slipping and lights him up, hitting him multiple times. Even though Von was rushed to the hospital, the damage was already done. At just 26 years old, one of drill's rising stars had his lights snuffed out. The streets were hot after, with everybody waiting to see if Von's crew was going to get back. But the law was watching also, and Lil Tim got booked for murder, though he was claiming self-defense. Now, you know how it goes in these situations. Some dudes were whispering that it might have been an inside job, since Von kinda mentioned it in one of his tracks. But if they kill King Von, then something is not right. The ops don't play with him. That happened from inside. See, I'm just saying Von don't be playing. And if they kill him, that shit was planned. But there ain't no solid proof of that, and it seems like it was just a case of two rival crews running into each other at the wrong time, with deadly consequences. Von lived and died by that kill or be killed code from them Chicago streets, and in the end, that's what took him out. But this next rapper got taken out for just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Takeoff, born Kershnik Kari Ball, was the quiet assassin of the Migos, the trio that pumped up Atlanta with bangers like Bad and Bougie, Versace, and Walk It Talk It. Takeoff even stepped out solo with his last rocket, proving he could hold it down on his own. Now, fast forward to November 1st, 2022. Takeoff and his uncle Quavo roll up to this private function at a bowling alley in Houston where it all went down. Now, it sounds like there was a dice game popping off, and when money's on the line, things can get real heated. Quavo was in this mix, but Takeoff? Nah, he was just chilling on the sidelines, minding his own business. He wasn't involved in this game or the beef that followed. Quavo tells the dude to back off before he gets hurt, and that's when the dude pulls out a Draco. In the chaos, Takeoff catches a stray. And at 28 years young, one of the coldest in the game gets his lights snuffed out. Now, some fools are saying it might have been an inside job, but there's no solid proof of that. Seems like Takeoff was just literally at the wrong place at the wrong time, caught in the crossfire of some senseless beef. The police rounded up 2 suspects. First, this dude named Patrick Xavier Clark, a local DJ and club promoter. He swears he wasn't the one who popped Takeoff, but the cops aren't buying it, and they hit him with a murder charge. But there's this other dude, Joshua Cameron. Now, he ain't charged with murder, but he caught a case for having a strap when he shouldn't have. Takeoff lives on through his music and the impact he had on the game. His flow was unmatched, his presence unmistakable. The Migos will never be the same without him, and neither will the rap game. This next rapper, though, got his card pulled by them O-Block hitters in the middle of Chicago. FBG Duck came up in the drill scene reppin' STLEBT hard, following in his big bro FBG Brick's footsteps. Now, Duck wasn't just a rapper, he was heavily involved in the streets. And the word is that he even rolled up on O-Block strapped and ready. Now, the beef between STLEBT and O-Block 600 all popped off back in 2011 when Duck's homie Tuka got smoked at a bus stop by some TYMB and O-Block goons. That hit lit the fuse on a war that's still hot to this day. Duck was always in the thick of it, trading bars and disses with the ops. Memo 600 and King Von dropped exposing me, smoking on STLEBT's dead homies. Your homie died, I'm smoking that. I'm tired of smelling Tuka and Little Mark, and I'm tired of scrap. Duck wasn't about to let that slide. He came back with a remix that had the whole city talking, dissing a whole graveyard of O-Block's dead members. He got caught in traffic. Waldo ain't get to finish his status. He on the internet laughing, capping, then got caught without it. A homie dead. You heard what I said. Sharoid. OD, D-Thang, and Tirehead. Duck doesn't hold back, and goes off on Memos' dead brother, Lil Stevie. These mentioning Tuka, I'll around, send you to meet him. I don't got my Glock. When I see an op, on bro, I'ma beat him. I'm smoking Lil Steve can't breathe, I'm thinking it's over. I wish I was right there when Lil Boo got slumped. I would've ran his shit over. Pass him to me. We just add him to the family tree. Smacked his ass with the back of the heat. Stello got hit from the back of the seat. He tried to get up from the back of the seat. They left his head in the back of the seat. Yeah, you see, in the drill game, the disses aren't just music. Every bar is like throwing gasoline on a fire. And Duck was out here with a whole tanker. That's the type of talk that'll get a target put on your back real quick. Even when Duck tried to switch it up and go mainstream, that street life followed him. In July 2020, he dropped Dead Bitch, where he was still taking shots at O-Block's dead homies. Boy, what block you from? Let us know so we can spin it. Made Chicago legends. That was just about business. Said I wasn't gonna diss the dead and okay. I did it. But fuck Roy and OD. Fuck them. Them dead bitches. It looked like Duck was finally about to blow up for real. He had a new deal, his streams were going crazy, and folks outside Chicago were starting to pay attention. But on August 4th, 2020, it all comes crashing down. Duck was out shopping with his girl in the Gold Coast, one of the bougiest parts of Chicago. 2 whips pull up, 4 shooters hop out, and start spraying like it's the Wild West. Duck caught slugs in the chest and neck, and another Chicago legend's gone. As soon as the word hits the streets, everybody's pointing fingers at O-Block. At first it was just talk, but in October 2021, the feds came a-knocking and scooped up 5 dudes from O-Block for Duck's murders. We're talking C-Murda, Kenny Mack, C-Thang, Moo-Wop, and Los. They all got hit with murder and racketeering charges, proving that the streets were watching closer than anybody knew. It's kinda wild to think about how beef started over a bus stop killing a decade ago that could really lead to all of this. But that's how it goes in the streets. One death leads to another, and before you know it, you have a whole generation caught up in a war they inherited. Speaking of rappers now who got caught up in the street life they were rapping about, this next rapper's non-stop dissing and gangbanging finally caught up with him. Fulio came up in 6 Block, one of the wildest spots in North Jacksonville, and from the jump his life was tangled in beef and violence. His pops, Rick the Ruler, got clapped when Fulio was just a youngin', setting the tone for what was to come. By 15, Fulio was already deep in the mix. His homie Aaron got smoked, turning up the heat, and then Fulio caught a bullet himself, crawling away from his ops who followed him off the school bus. But the real beef would kick off when Fulio's cousin, Zion Brown, got killed. That linked back to Young and Ace's crew, sparking a war that would paint Jacksonville red. Fulio started making waves in the rap game. His lyrics were that gasoline to the fire. He was going bar for bar with Young and Ace, each track more disrespectful than the last. We have Young and Ace's Who I Smoke, Who I Smoke Bibby, Who I Smoke Techie, Who I Smoke Lil 9, where he lists off all of Fulio's dead homies. And Fulio's When I See Ya had the whole country paying attention to Jacksonville's deadly beef. Ace from the West, how he clipped up with the East Side. He ain't been the same since he's seen the other 3 die. Bitch, I'm 2-3 high. Bitch, say you goodbye. Gave that boy the business like a suit and a bow tie. Light them boys block up like the 4th of July. They got caught lacking, the whole world wanna know why. Went out to eat on his birthday. 4 shot, 3 dead in the worst way. He kept dissing on me, now he's smoking 23. When I See You is one of the most disrespectful diss tracks, where he goes after Ace and his homies that died in front of him in a drive-by shooting. Ace's brother was actually celebrating his birthday the day he got murdered. And Fulio didn't stop there. Takes it to this other level, with List of Dead Ops. Now this track was straight disrespect. Let's talk about dead ops, I got a list. Name one by one, they all got blitzed. I need y'all to listen and pay attention. I'm tired of the acting, I'm tired of the gimmicks. 5 got hit in the head, he tried to swim at the pool. Big Baby got caught in the morning at the bus, he was going to school. Quan had died in the suburbs, remember that shit hit the news? Top got hit in his top, damn, he should have had a tool. Casosa, that boy was a fighter, but he got lit like a lighter. And it keeps going on. A month after List of Dead Ops dropped, Fulio barely escaped with his life. As he left the studio in Jacksonville, he got ambushed by 2 shooters who let off over 100 rounds. Somehow, Fulio made it out with just a leg shot. While busting back from his whip, he takes the time to hop on IG Live and clowns on his ops for missing the whole 100 shots.
The whole 100 shots, though. You know they sick right now. Whoever did it, they sick. One is 1 2 choppers, 1 me. I'm blowing back. I'm tradie. They must have thought I was lacking for sure.
For a minute, it seemed like Fulio might have learned his lesson. He was laying low, still talking that talk, but moving smarter. But in October 2023, the ops caught up again, catching Fulio lacking at a gas station and putting one in his foot.
You niggas no shooters. I emptied my whole clip on my daddy. Stop playing with me. And I didn't get hit. I got grazed in the leg. Stop playing. On tradie, nigga. I emptied my whole clip. Stop playing.
Fast forward to June 23, 2024, Fulio celebrating his birthday in Tampa, thinking he's safe outside his hood. But he's slipping, giving away his location like it's nothing. The party gets shut down by the cops, and Fulio and crew roll up to the Holiday Inn. That's when everything goes left. Goons pull up, guns a-blazing. Four people catch bullets, but Fulio's the only one who doesn't make it. Now some say it was Jacksonville's ops who made the road trip to catch Fulio lacking. Others think it might have been backdoored by someone close. Either way, Fulio's time was up. The fallout is instant and brutal. Jacksonville turns into a war zone, with Fulio's 6 Block homies allegedly clapping back and taking out a dude named Fizzle. The ops start dissing hard with Young and Ace dropping tracks like Do It. Every car I'm in, these bitches tinted. Stolens and rentals with choppers and killers in it. Catch his ass and do his ass, you know he finished. Flip his ass and smoke his ass, we stand on business. All my niggas get active, jump in a car, we out in traffic. And in Game Over, barely hiding that he's talking about Fulio's death. 5 in the morning, I got a call, what is this? Dead on the floor, dead on arrival, Mr. Six? I'm steady screaming out, "Fuck the law," and "Fuck the Six." 4 in the car and 1 of them dead. 3 got hit. I told them niggas they don't want no war with this shit. Yeah, in the end, Fulio's own words on "When I See Ya" came back to haunt him. He dissed Young and Ace's brother for getting killed on his birthday, only to meet the same fate. Fulio's gone, but the gang wars he was a part of, they're far from over. His boys are out for blood, looking to settle scores and keep Fulio's memory alive. Meanwhile, the other side's thinking they got the upper hand. But in these streets, today's victory could be tomorrow's funeral.